Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. IaminAzure. Hope you all are doing good and safe wherever you are. So I'm back with a new content on our YouTube channel. So this time I'm going to cover how to run a .NET code inside a logic app, to be specific standard logic app. Earlier what we were doing is we were having a function app where we were writing our C# code or .NET code, and that function we were calling it inside a logic app. But there is a provision in logic app where you can write functions that is in your C# code itself, local to that logic app, and all that functions will run on the logic app host wherever you, again, the standard logic app also is running on the function app hosting. So they will both run in the same environment, but behind the screen the worker will be a different one. So your function app code will run a different worker, but your logic app will pretty much call that function, considering it as a local function. So that is what we are going to do. This provision you don't have availability today. You cannot create something similar on your portal. For that you have to use a Visual Studio extension. I will just connect and show you that. So if you are using, or if you are familiar with the development of logic apps using your local, you pretty much you would know that there is an extension. If you go here, you can pretty much look for logic app, and you will see an extension like logic apps, Azure Logic Apps Standard. So this is what you need to install, and you have to have the latest version, because they keep on changing, and when they are updating this, you will get the latest updates every time here. So right now, if you have the latest version updated on your Visual Studio, then you will get this feature. So what you primarily have to do is, so I will just go to a new screen altogether. We will start it from the scratch. I will create some sample, whatever is there in the documentation, but it it is something similar that you can pretty much do it for the whatever you have done the application related coding as well. Well, okay, so let me just go how you can pretty much start the development of logic apps on your local environment is, you generally will have an option here, Azure. If you click on Azure, you will see something called logic app standard here. I have added it here, but it was not showing up right here. So ideally, you should see something like Logic App standard here. But if you, there is no harm if you are not seeing it, you can pretty much click Control Shift P, and you can ask for Azure Logic App. Once you have the installation extension installed, then you can pretty much see here Logic App, both the consumption one and the standard one. For standard, you don't see that option here, but you can come here and you can ask to create a project. But here, what you have to select is we have to create a workspace, not a new project. If you create a new project, it will be like a standalone standard Logic App. But what we need to create is we need to create a workspace. So for that, what you have to do, you have to go here and pretty much you can search for create Logic App advanced. No, that's not the one. Let me try Azure Logic App create. Yeah, you see this create new Logic App workspace. So you have to select this. Then it will ask for you some location that you can pretty much choose. So for now, I will just go ahead and choose some place. So I will just create here one folder. Well, I will just go it here. Well, I will create a folder here and I will just name it as Azure Logic Apps. Okay. And then I will just select this folder. So provide a namespace name. So namespace name is nothing but the whole name that will come for your application, as in for your Logic app. And inside this, inside workspace, you will have two folders, one for the function app and one for the Logic app, that you will see it in the meantime. So what I will do, I will just give it a workspace, something like az.workspace. And then what type of logic app you want to create? You want to create with a custom code or a standalone, or you want to use the rule engine? Again, it's a different, it is still in preview mode, so we can pretty much go with this. And the framework that you are using, I am using the latest one. Then the function app name, whatever the function app that you are going to use. So if you are creating for some logic, you can just pretty much give it. For now, I will just give it as function app 001, something like this. Is it dot function az function 001. So it's the function name, not the function app name. So it is a function name. So one function inside that, and the namespace name. So if you are familiar with .NET, you generally have a namespace for whatever the classes that you are creating, right? So I will just call it as namespace. Then what type of logic app that you want to create the workflow inside your logic app? So I'm going with the stateful. Again, the workflow name, workflow one. Else let's call it 001. And I'm just opening it in current window. Now, if you look at here, you will pretty much see, yeah, I trust it. You see, as I mentioned, you will have two folders, one for the function and one for the logic app. So inside logic app, you will have your logic app related code where you can pretty much design the logic app on your Visual Studio. Your artifacts, everything will reside inside this. And then your functions, so function app code, whatever you generally have, you will see it here. Okay. So if you're familiar, you can pretty much open this and you will see the same code that you generally write when you're working on a function app. So you have the same function name, then the run method, everything. If you want to add more functions to it, you can add more. So this function is nothing but that will, this function name is what you will generally call it in your logic app. So if I have to show you, say for example, when I build here, if I go to designer, you have an option here, open designer. This is where you generally go and design your logic apps. So it is starting in a minute. Let's give a second. If you open this, this is what you generally see the code view. The same thing that you see on your Azure portal also. If you want a designer, you can pretty much right click and click on designer, and this is where a designer comes up. So for now, it is giving some exceptions. That exceptions are still valid given the reason we haven't built our solution yet. We have to build the solution. Once you build it, you will see a folder here, lib/custom. Then inside that, your function app code, everything should come here. Then only see your logic app should know that there is a function that you are going to use. So right now it doesn't aware of it. So what you have to do is you first have to work on your function app. Whatever the changes you want to do, we can pretty much do it, and then we have to build this. Then first restore it, build it, and then pretty much you will see that once you build it, then you will see it inside here, one folder being automatically created. So let's do that now. So I'm not going to change anything in this code. If you want, we can pretty much do. But if we look at the basic code, what it is saying, again, the logger comes inbuilt with it. So if you have the application insights already configured, your logs will also be captured on your application insights automatically. You don't need to configure anything. And the more flexible or the advantage with this is you don't need to maintain two things, your logic app separately and function app separately, but they are today one as a resource in your Azure. So that's the primary advantage. There are different advantages in terms of the reusability, scalability, all that. Maybe I will try to cover it in upcoming sessions. But if you look at here, it is a very basic code where it accepts two parameters. One is of int type and the other one is string type. And it just calculate the current temperature and then just to return that. Well, okay. So based on the zip code that we are sending. Let me check here. Yeah, it just hard coding it, but there is no API calls or nothing, transformation, nothing. So just a in return you will get something like this, a JSON, something like this. Okay. So what I will do is yeah, I will just go and build this one. So what I can do is, if you want to test it locally, that we can pretty much do it. I will show you that too. But to make it working first, you need to first go ahead and build this. So what you can do is Control Shift P. Then you can choose .NET I'm sorry. So what you can do is you have to build this, right? So you have to go to this. In general, for build and restore, we use the commands .NET build, .NET restore, right? So similarly, you have to use those commands on this solution. So to go to that, what I will do, I will just go to a terminal. I have to open a terminal, new terminal. I want it inside functions. So that is where it is. And now I will just build this one so that I will get this everything here. So .NET, first I will just restore it, then I will build it hyphen. In fact, I have to give the solution name. So it is Azure functions 001.cs project. Project does not exist. Did I give a wrong number? Yeah, it's Azure function. Yeah, the restore completed. Then I will go for a build. It will start building. Once the build is complete, then we will see the DLL files being generated. So let's give a minute for it. Yeah, done. So this is done. See, ideally, if you go to designer again, most of the times you will see this error. If you're seeing this error means here in lib folder, ideally earlier we were not seeing this custom folder, but after the build, we are seeing this. So inside this, whatever the framework that you have, with that framework, you will see the DLL files over here, and your function, whatever the functions that you have, with that you will see something here, and then your DLL files inside which your actual code will reside, right? So now you can pretty much refer here. So what I will do, if you are seeing this one, I will pretty much delete this and I will just recreate it. So the action that you are supposed to use is local function operations. Earlier we all were using this function apps. In fact, not function app, it's a HTTP call. You will just make an HTTP call, and that endpoint you generally put it here. But right now you can pretty much go to local function, call function from this logic app, and here you should see in the drop down the function. Once you build, then only you will be able to see it. Once you select it, you will get the parameters also. What are the parameters that you have for them? Now you can pass pretty much the parameters here. So if you want to hardcode it, or else you can get it from the payload. So I will try to get it from the payload. So my payload, I would expect the zip code and what was the other one? Temperature, right? So my zip code, I will just make it zip code is zip code was an integer, I remember. So 412, and then I'm just giving a random name number here. I have to create some schema, right? So that is the reason. Then I will just give temperature. Yeah, temperature. I will just give. I think this is what string, and this is integer, I believe. Yeah. So you see the schema is here. Let me double check on the schema part one more time. Okay, so I'm wrong in it. So zip code is integer and temperature scale is an uh, oh, this is temperature scale. Okay, my bad. I think we have to give in temperature scale. We have to give Celsius or Fahrenheit. So that should be the string. So what I will do, I will just go back to my code again, and then I will just change this one. So you can pretty much generate new schema, or else you can, if you ever aware that what data type it is, you can pretty much come and do this here. So this is supposed to be string, and this is temperature scale. Not necessary that we have to give the same names, but I'm just making sure that, yeah. So now what I can do, I can pretty much call the zip code, and then here temperature scale. So this is now not hard coded here. So I will just test it. To test it, what we have to do, we all know that even when you are developing function apps, you have to have your function app should be connected to your either to your storage account or to your local. If you are using your storage emulator, you just need to run that storage emulator, and that I have this Azure, sorry, Azurite, so I will just run it. So it's for functions. Yeah, my table is running, then my blob is starting now. It's in functions again, and then my queue also I will start it. Well, I will start it, yeah. Okay, so all my local queue storage and tables, they all are running. So um, I will just go ahead and trigger this now, or else I will just debug this now first. So what I will do, I will just come here and I will just put a breakpoint here. The same debugging how you do it for function app. So I have to debug the logic app, right? So from logic app, I will be going to call that. So let's just run this. So you will see now the function func start, the function app host will be started, and then your logic app will also pretty much ready for you. So I have to save this, then only this URL comes up, right? So I will just save this. Yeah, I hope it got saved. So what I will do, I will just go to overview to collect the URL. Again, in your local, you generally don't see it here, the URLs. But if you are working with the Azure portal, you generally see the URL once you save it and come back. But for local, you have to go to overview. So how can you go to overview? You just have to come here. And what is this error? Function isn't empty. The folder usually have the same name as a function. Workflow validation creation, the call doesn't have function metadata. When a function is named this, make sure the function.json which is located in isn't empty. Isn't empty. Okay, let me check what it is saying is. So if I go to lib and logicapps, okay, so the custom I'm still not seeing. Somehow I don't know how it got missed. What I will do, I will just disconnect and I will just rebuild this. Well, you see the custom folder is missing here. So I will just re-add it. Yeah, now you have the custom folder here, and inside that you will have this function.json and this things. Okay, so this will have pretty much the same thing that you generally see it in your Azure function. So let's not worry more on it. Now I'll just go and debug this. So it is on logic app. Let me run this. Yeah, now your function app host should start. Let's give a minute for it. Yeah. So this is what it is, like the core tool initialization is happening. It is building everything that you pretty much see in your function apps. Yeah, you have the flows now. Now, one thing is, as I said, to debug, we have to get the URL because it's an HTTP call, right? Your logic app is an HTTP call. So how can I get it? I can pretty much go here. Again, I will just right click overview. Over here, you will see that URL. You just need to go to the workflow.json and right click. Here is the URL. You can use this one, or else you can pretty much click on this run trigger. Okay, so we are getting some error. Let's see what is the error it is saying. Incoming HTTP request ends with a server failure. Well, it just invoked the function, and then it failed at some place. We will try to find out at what place. Okay, so the zip code is where it failed. Okay, so that's what I have to pass the payload, right? Because I have to give the payload, so I cannot trigger it from here. What I will do, I will just take this and I just need to run it on some third-party tool like Postman, something like that. Let me see if I have the Postman here. Not, I just need to install it. Okay, I have it. Oh, it is asking for sign in. Well, I will just pretty much do it. Copy. Okay. Well, I just signed in. So now what I will do, I will just go ahead and use the Postman here. Okay. So new request. Okay. So it's a post call. So I will just choose post. Then this. Then in the body, I'm supposed to pass a JSON. Yeah. So my payload is something like this. I hope I have given zip code. Zip code. Let me double check the payload that I have given. Yeah, it's a zip code and temperature scale. Okay, zip code. Zip code is integer and this is string. Okay. So now I will just go to Postman back. Now it is zip code. Then you have to give some number. So I'll just put 123 followed by this one, and then I just need to give shell CS or the foreign it, right? We can give anyone. So let me make sure. Yeah, you can use anyone. So I'll just use foreign it here. So zip code is also fine and foreign it is also fine. Let me make sure. Yeah, zip C is capital, right? Okay, so let me just make sure. Well, now I will just hit it. It is saying 4 not 4. Okay, so this URL is incorrect. Sorry. So the URL was I have to go to overview, right? Yeah, this is the URL. Copy, come here, and then the URL. I should paste it here and send it. You see, this got invoked something, and we got something in response. Yeah. So it invoked, right? So what I will do, I will just go to function app now, and I will just go to function app history. To check history again, we have to go to the overview. As I said, you can pretty much click here and click on overview. Then you can go to overview, and here you can see the history here. Okay, so this got succeeded just now. So I'll just open it, and you will see the things that we just sent. So this invoked the function app where we passed this values 1, 2, 3 and the foreign head, and the output that the function app has generated. And in return, I think we don't have any response that we set. That is why we got a blank response, right? So that is how it is. Now to deploy this, I will just stop this. Pretty much whatever you follow for your standard in your organization, you can go for CI/CD pipelines, or else you can go for uh, the deployment from VS Code as well. If you have a pipeline, you can pretty much use it. Otherwise, just let me know if you want me to build something around that, like CI/CD pipeline to deploy this workflow or workspace. Just put a message in the comment. I will definitely revert on that. Then to deploy it manually from the VS Code, what we can do is we can just go to Azure again and select the resource that you want uh, to get it deployed into. So I have this resource already created here. Okay, so this resource I just created, I don't have anything inside this. So I will just go here and I will just go. Okay, so I have to go to resources, not this one, resources, and then it is logic app. Yeah, and okay, it is just showing some error. Let me refresh it. Yeah, so now I'll just right click on it and I'll just deploy to this logic app. So what you want to deploy, you have to deploy the logic app. You don't need to deploy the function app because the logic app has everything in it. The DLLs when you build, right, it automatically created some folder like slash custom, right? So you don't need to, oh, sorry, cancel this. So you have to generally use um, the logic app because logic app has everything now. You want to override? Yes, please. Well, when you are using CI/CD pipeline, also make sure you zip only the logic app part. You don't need to zip again the function app code anything. Make sure you just zip the logic app folder, and you can pretty much use that for your deployment. Okay, so it is just loading. Yeah, it got deployed. So we will just go and check it here now. Let's just refresh it here. Yeah, you have it here again. As I said, code part you won't be able to see it here. That is still not a provision available, but again when you open it you will see when you go to designer you will see the same thing that whatever we have seen on the local. At times you will see some errors. I will tell you some common errors again that has been listed here in the document, but I will show you those as well, like where you need to check if some error is coming up, where you have to check, that we will see now. Okay, so you see here the same thing, whatever we have given. Now you have the function app name and everything has been coming up here. Now, if you have additional functions, those will be listed here. We have only one, so that is what you are seeing. At times, you will see the exception that you are seeing on your local, the one that we have seen. So that has been documented here as well. If you go here, whatever the steps that we have done, pretty much you can see over here as well. But in the error section, see, this is what I mentioned. You will see the files and everything based on the .NET version that you chose. How to debug, everything has been here given here. Yeah, you say this error was something that we have seen earlier. So if you are seeing this on your local, make sure that you go to terminal and run this tasks. Okay, so at times you don't see this. One thing is you can run the build function that I just showed you that will create this one. Otherwise, what you can do is you can pretty much go here and do this one. Like what you have to do is you just need to go to terminal, run task, and then you just select this build function. This will build the functions and create it here. Okay, and some other common errors you have listed it here, but if you're still seeing the folder has been pushed here but you are seeing error exception on the portal. I have seen some a question on the Stack Overflow saying that they were not able to follow, that they were not able to see this. So what you can pretty much do is, well, I will just test this, I think, first, then we will see. Let me just test this now. So what I can do, I can pretty much take this URL now and I can use Postman. So let me go to Postman now and I can actually create a new request, or else I will just use this one and I will just change number here. Well, some number 45, let's say, and let's just send this. Yeah, you got 200, so that means you should see a run history here in the history. Yeah, so you have it here. Yeah, 45 is here. So again, as I said, if you are seeing that error, what you have to do is you can go to pretty much the logic app. You can go to the Kudu portal where you can check what code base you have. So how do you go to that development environment and then this advanced tools? Then just go here. Okay. I think that would yeah, if you go to Kudu portal, there you will see that option whether that folder is there or not, and then based on that we can see. I mean, if it is missing, then we need to work out where it is missing. Is it missing in the CI/CD pipeline, or you were not able to deploy it properly? All that we need to check. Yeah, that's all I want to cover for today. I hope this session somehow helpful to you. I have seen, but at least I have seen this as an great feature that we definitely need to take as an feature and adapt in our solutions. Yeah, feel free to drop your questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop any errors that you are getting, or if you feel that you want to build something out of this, please drop a mail. Like you want CI/CD pipeline for this, please drop a message. Please drop a message as a comment in the comment chat, and do like, share, and subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for your uh, valuable time. Thank you.